Ozians. I'm the Louisiana Quadling, a Wizard of Oz collector and enthusiast, sharing my thoughts, my collection, and a little bit of my musical talent with all of you, and welcome to my channel. Do you have a Wizard of Oz collection that you want to part with? Today I'll be sharing with you my tips on how to sell your Wizard of Oz collection. Over the past decade, I have not only sold off pieces from my own collection, but I've also bought others' Wizard of Oz collections. So I have a little bit of experience of both buying and selling Wizard of Oz collections. I've divided this video up into two parts. The first part will be covering those that have a Wizard of Oz collection and either have been collecting for a long time and never intended on selling it off, but now they want to part with their collection, or you're someone who inherited a Wizard of Oz collection that the original owner never intended on selling and you want to sell their collection off. And part two of this video will be looking at the more experienced collector who knows exactly what they own and how much those pieces are worth. Hopefully, the tips that I have are something that you haven't thought of yet. If you're interested in skipping ahead to a certain part of the video, I have timestamps down below. And of course, if you want to watch the whole thing, I'm perfectly okay with this because giving me more watch time and helping me with the YouTube algorithm is always appreciated. Alrighty, let's get started. Hello and welcome to part one. So, you have a Wizard of Oz collection. You don't know how much it's worth, and you're not quite sure how you're going to part with it. Hopefully these tips will help you out. If you need to part with your collection quickly, there are a couple of options for you. One little myth that I want to quickly debunk is this myth that you'll be able to sell off the entire collection and make thousands of dollars off of it and retire from the money that you got from selling it. While this is all lovely with rose-tinted glasses, I have never bought a collection for $1,000 or even $500. So you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So if you have your sights set on selling your collection and making, I don't know, over $10,000 on it in one go, and you think that I will definitely be able to find someone who's willing to spend that on it, the likelihood of that is very, very minimal. And there are no collectors that I know of, including myself, that would be willing to spend that kind of cash. But if that's the way that you want to go, there are plenty of Wizard of Oz dealers out there that do buy entire collections. Just realize that these dealers will buy your collection for a cut price. For some of these dealers, this is their one and only means of making money, and for others, it's a side hustle. I don't know how much these dealers buy collections for. You'd have to contact the dealers personally to find out. If there are no Wizard of Oz dealers in your area and they're not willing to drive to your area to pick up your collection, contact a local auction house or even maybe an estate sale dealer. They might be willing to purchase your collection and sell it off to their buyers. Now, if money doesn't matter at all, just doesn't matter, you don't care about making money off of it, you can donate your collection to the International Wizard of Oz Club and maybe even to a Wizard of Oz festival. Both of these organizations have auctions to raise funds for their respective organizations to keep things running. Now, if making money is your thing and you're just looking at this collection going, "It's a gold mine," okay, there's one thing you're gonna have to do, especially if this isn't your own personal collection. You're gonna have to research. I know. It's like going back to school, having a little notebook and writing everything down. I know. I know, it's time consuming, but if that's what you want to do, that's what you're gonna have to do. But let's say that you own the collection and you remember what you paid for some of the items in it. Some people have the philosophy that, well, since I paid this much for an item, that means that you should spend that much. Well, this philosophy sometimes works in your favor, and other times it doesn't. A great example of this one could be if, let's say, you have the Polly Pocket Wizard of Oz set that came out in 2000. That set originally retailed for $29.99. With this philosophy in mind, you would probably tell a respective buyer, oh, $30. And the buyer pays you $30, transaction done. You sold the item. That would be all fine and dandy if that's how much the Polly Pocket was worth, because it's worth far over $100 now. So you just lost a potential $70+ on that transaction by giving it away for $30. So doing a little bit of research on your items will be able to help you out in making the most that you can off of your collection. Now, of course, there will be other examples where the price has decreased because people don't think it's worth as much and they're not willing to spend that original retail price. That happens. Not everything in your collection is going to appreciate in value because the secondary market is based off of how much people are willing to spend to get that item. Okay, so let's say you want to sell off your collection and you don't want to deal with online auction sites like eBay and have to deal with shipping and handling, and what if something breaks in the mail, and yeah, that's a nightmare. I've dealt with that before. There is another option for you. Find out when the next Wizard of Oz convention or festival is that's near you and rent a dealer's table. Over the convention or festival weekend, set up your entire Wizard of Oz collection and sell the whole thing off over the weekend. And that's all I've got for you in part 1. Hopefully these tips helped you out. If you have any other questions or comments about things that I didn't cover in this part, please don't hesitate to comment down below. Hello and welcome to part 2. Do you have an impressive Wizard of Oz collection and you know exactly how much it's worth? Hopefully these tips will help you in selling it. If your collection features mostly vintage or antique Wizard of Oz items, like first edition Wizard of Oz books, or maybe MGM memorabilia that was released in 1939, I would suggest contacting an auction house to sell off your collection. I'm of course assuming that you don't want to sell off your collection yourself, but if you do, here's another idea for you. Assuming that you use social media, which you are currently using to watch this video. Crazy, right? Get to know other Wizard of Oz collectors who collect similar items to you. Since everyone's collections are different anyways, they won't have an exact replica of your collection. When you're ready to start selling off pieces from your collection, offer items to these collectors that you know they don't have and that they're looking for. Now, don't scalp the prices simply because you think that a first edition second state of the wonderful Wizard of Oz that is also water damaged and missing pages is worth $10,000. Simply because I'm an expert. All right, Regina George. Let's see how long it takes you to sell that for that price. I can guarantee you it will be a long, long, long time. Everyone, including me, should do research when selling off items. Anyways, I hope these tips helped you, in giving you some ideas to sell off your Wizard of Oz collection. And if there's anything that I didn't cover in this part or in part 1, please leave a comment down below. And if you liked that video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. New videos are posted every 2 weeks on the 15th and last day of each month. And if that doesn't satisfy your appetite for Oz, follow the link in the description to ozclub.org and join the International Wizard of Oz Club. Until next time, happy selling!